Welcome to Mrs. Bays' 6th grade math video lesson. We're going to look at division of decimals, and this is for video number 1. We're looking specifically when we have a whole number divisor. Please do not use a calculator. You may use your multiplication chart. Let's begin by looking at the vocabulary for division. We have dividend, divisor, quotient, and we need to visit decimal places. We also have some division symbols that we need to revisit. We have the traditional division sign, which I like to call crazy eyes. This is the long division symbol, and this is the slash that you will see frequently when it comes to your computer work. All right, let's look at an example. 14.6 divided by 2 is 7.3. The first number in a division problem is the dividend. The second number in a division problem is your divisor. And the answer to a division problem is the quotient. And notice we use the traditional division symbol in this example. Now let's look at decimal places. Decimal places refers to looking at a decimal point and counting the number of digits past the point. So in the dividend, we have a decimal point and one digit past, that's one decimal place. And notice that in the divisor, we do not have a decimal point. But in the answer, we do have a decimal point with one decimal place. Now let's look at the next example. 14.6 is the dividend when written horizontally, but then when we use the long division symbol, 14.6 is still the dividend. That's the number on the inside of the division box. The second number is the divisor, so the number on the outside or to the left is the divisor. And the answer is written on top of this division box, and that is your quotient. Let's take a moment and look at decimal places. Notice the dividend has a decimal point and one decimal place, and the answer has a decimal point and that one decimal place. Let's look at an example. First, we're going to begin with the standard algorithm. 1.89 divided by 7 equals, and we're going to find the quotient. This is the dividend, divisor, quotient. So when I use the long division symbol, I'm going to put the dividend inside the division box, and the divisor goes on the left or outside of the division box. Now, when we have division problems where the decimal point is in the dividend only, notice this does not have a decimal point on it. This is a whole number. That decimal point is going to move straight up. And you need to do this first. That way, when you have the decimal point already as part of your answer, as you fill in the numbers, you won't forget about the decimal point. So let's begin the division. How many 7s can you get out of a 1? Well, none, so we put a 0 here. 0 times 7 is 0. Now let's subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. We're going to bring that next number down into place. And now we have 18. How many 7s can we get out of 18? Well, that's 2. 2 times 7 is 14. That's as close as we can get to 18. Now let's subtract. 18 minus 14, or 8 minus 4 is 4. Now let's bring that next number down into place. and now we have 49. How many 7s can you get out of 49? Well, that's 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Let's subtract. 49 minus 49 is 0. Now, you want to work till you get to this 0, if at all possible, because that 0 tells you a couple things. First, it tells you you are finished with the problem, and we are not going to move on with any more decimal places. So now let's look at the answer to this problem. 1 89/100 divided by 7 is 27/100. Now let's look at another method for solving this problem. This is called the box division or the box method. It's just another method for you to find the answer. So when we look at this, we still have 1.89 divided by 7, but we're going to do the box method. So we look at the first number, this is the dividend, and I notice that it has 3 digits. So I'm going to make my box have 3 columns. The first digit will go in the first column. The second digit goes in the second column. And the third digit goes in the third column. This is your dividend. The divisor goes on the left side of this row. Now, when I look at this box division, I notice that 7, the divisor, is a whole number. But in the problem, we have a decimal point between the 1 and the 8. So that means I need to go ahead and put in that decimal point in the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here between the 1 and the 8. Let's begin. How many 7s can you get out of 1? Well, 0. So 0 times 7 is 0. We subtract. And 1 minus 0 is 1. We carry that 1 to the next column. So now we have 18. How many 7s do we have in 18? 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Let's subtract again. 18 minus 14, or 8 minus 4 is 4. We're going to carry that to the next column. And now we have 49. How many 7s are in 49? 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Now let's subtract. 49 minus 49 is 0. Well, this 0, again, tells you a couple things. You are finished with the problem, and we are not going to have any other decimal places in this answer. So now let's look at the problem. 1 89/100 divided by 7 is 27/100. Now let's look at the practice I would like for you to do. Let's just remember that we are focusing this lesson on whole number divisors, where the decimal point is inside the division box or in the dividend. So directions for this lesson, please go to IXL, do 6th grade H.4, and you should see divide decimals by whole numbers. Please remember that you need to go to 80% to get full credit, and if you work a little extra hard to get 100%, you will get a bonus point. Thanks so much.